Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist, and today I'm going to be doing a Volcanic deck profile. Now this is a really explosive deck, and I don't mean that in the literal sense, but it actually it pops off pretty well. Just when your opponent thinks that they've won, you can just blow their entire board and, do all sorts of shenanigans. So it's a really fun deck, guys. I kind of wanted to do this as a December update because, I know a lot of you guys are out there in the cold, and I wanted you guys to be able to have a little bit of fire in your lives and stay warm out there. So let's get straight on this, guys, and I'll show you what I'm playing for this deck profile. Before we do, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're going to be playing one copy of Volcanic Doomfire. Basically, you just summon this by sending a Tri-Blaze Accelerator card, which is going to be our Blaze Accelerator reload from our field to the graveyard. And then it also has the effect of, during your opponent's battle phase, your opponent must attack, all monsters must attack this card, and also it has the other effect of, when this card destroys a monster by battle and sent to the graveyard, destroy all monsters your opponent controls and inflict 500 points of damage for each monster that this card destroys by battle. So it has a really good effect, but it's just an awesome card. I don't think they have to attack this, but they have to attack. So then we play 3 copies of Volcanic Rocket. Essentially, this is kind of like the Stratos of the deck. What it does is that when it's normal summoned, you get to add a Blaze Accelerator card from your deck to the hand. So it adds a Blaze Accelerator reload directly from our deck to our hand, which is really good. 1 copy of Volcanic Slicer. I'm playing the Ties of the Brethren build, so you need to play that Slicer so you can special summon it out just as another Pyro monster. So once per turn, you can inflict 500 points of damage to your opponent. If this card is activated, it can't attack during that turn. So it's just if they have a big monster on the field, you can just burn them for 500, which is cool. I play 3 copies of Royal Firestorm Guard. This card is really good. I know it's a Pyro monster, and it would be really good if we had like a really good Pyro archetype. This card would be really busted. But what it does is, when it's normal summoned, you can target 4 Pyro monsters in your grave and shuffle all 4 of them in the deck and draw 2 cards. So it's kind of like a normal summon draw power. So it's really good. Then I play 2 copies of Barrier Statue of Infernos. It's kind of like a soft lock, being able to summon this onto your field with Ties of the Brethren, because no monsters can be special summoned except fire monsters. And we play a lot of fire monsters, so that's not that big of a deal. 1 copy of Volcanic Counter. Basically what this does is, if it's in your graveyard and you get battle damage inflicted to you, you banish it from the grave, and then if it was a fire monster other than Volcanic Counter in your grave, you can deal damage to your opponent equal to the damage you took, which is really cool. Then you play 3 copies of Volcanic Scattershot. This is probably the best card in the deck. When this card is sent to when it's sent to the graveyard, you inflict 500 points of damage to your opponent. And if it was sent to the graveyard by the effect of a Blaze Accelerator card, you can send 2 other copies of itself from your hand or deck to the grave to destroy all monsters your opponent controls as well. So you end up inflicting 1,500 points of damage to your opponent and destroying all monsters they control, Raigekiing them essentially. So it's just a really good card overall. Then we play 3 copies of our Volcanic Shell. Volcanic Shell is essentially here because you discard it, and for costs a lot, like for your Blaze Accelerator reloads, and it's just a really good card in that aspect because you can pay 500 life points to add another copy of itself from your deck to your hand, so it kind of thins your deck as well. So it's just a really good card. Then I play 3 copies of Ash Blossom. You can play essentially any hand trap you want here. I just play the 3 copies of Ash because it just works here. You can change it out if you want to for effect veilers or drolls or any combination of that, but I play the 3 Ash. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to play 3 copies of Call by the Grave. You guys know the drill. I always play this at 3 in every single deck that I play now. Just about. Basically what it does is if your opponent activates a hand trap, you target it in the grave and destroy it, or you can just target cards in your opponent's graveyard and target monsters in your opponent's graveyard and destroy them, and then their effects are negated. So it's just a really good card. 2 copies of Magic Planter, because you need to send your Blaze Accelerator Reload or your Blaze Accelerator Reload to the grave. And it's pretty much Pot of Greed, because you're going to get blesses off that. 3 copies of Pot of Duality. Sometimes you need the Pot of Duality because you just want a normal summon out instead of Ties of the Brethren. So is just a good card. If you want to play like Desires instead, you can. Like 2 Desires and an Upstart Goblin, you can. I like the Pot of Duality. It's a good budget option instead. I mean, I know Desires isn't that much, but I'm just not a fan of Desires, to be honest. I'm just not. So then I play for my last 3 spells. I play 3 copies of Ties of the Brethren. This card essentially, like, your targets for this that you're going to summon off is your Barrier Statue of Infernos. You're going to summon that, your Royal Flamestorm Guard, Volcanic Slicer, and Volcanic Rocket. Like, those are your 4 targets for this. They're all Pyro, but usually what I do is summon Volcanic Rocket, Slicer, and Barrier Statue, and I'll save the Royal Flamestorm Guards for normal summons to shuffle other Pyro monsters so I can get additional draws. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the traps. So I'm going to have to justify playing something to you guys. And you guys are going to be like, why are you playing that? And then I'm going to be like, you know why. So I'm playing 3 copies of Magic Cylinder in here. This deck burns your opponent for a lot of damage because it is it's a burn deck. It does, 1,500 points of damage for burning your opponent for the scatter shot, and it does multiple times as you're going to do that. So why not play Magic Cylinders to catch your opponent off guard? You could even drop, if you want to drop like 1 or 2 of these and play Blazing Mirror Force, you can. But I like the Magic Cylinders because it inflicts damage to your opponent equal to the amount of the monster that's attacking. The only thing you have to keep in mind about this card is that when they attack, it targets, and that kind of sucks. You could also, I think, play Dimension. It's not Dimension Slice. Dimension, I don't know what it's called, but it's like a Dimension card where Warrior Dagraffer is swinging and he's hitting himself on the back. So you could play that one over this if you want. I don't think that one targets, but these are the ones I had, so I threw them in here. But really good budget option if you want to play it. You could change this out if you want to play Impermanence too, but I like the 3 Magic Cylinders. So I love that. It's like it's shooting up, 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 and then it's shooting out. So then I play 3 copies of Fiendish Chain. We play the 3 Fiendish Chain because if you have the Magic Planners, you have the ability to have those back row removals, so you can have the double draw as well. And then I played 3 copies of Blaze Accelerator Reload. Blaze Accelerator Reload with Scattershot is the best cards in the deck. It's basically as effective as that it counts as Tri-Blaze Accelerator while on the spell and trap card zone, and during either player's turn during the main phase, you can send 1 Volcanic card from your hand to the grave, and if you do, draw a card. So that's a really good card, and then once per turn during either player's turn, you can banish the card from your grave to send 1 Volcanic card from your deck to the grave. Really good card. You usually use it in combination with our Scatter Shots, because Scatter Shot basically says when it's sent to the graveyard by Tri-Blaze Accelerator, which is this, send 2 more copies of me to the grave and Raigeki your opponent's field. That's pretty much what it does, and that's just an amazing effect. I really have faith in this deck that it's going to do something in the future, and I really think that they should do something with this deck in the Legendary Duelists set. If they make a 5th one, they should put Axel in it and do something with him. I think it'd be great. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to be playing one copy of Borreload. You can make it off chances. 1 copy of Borrelsword. Again, it's kind of like off chances that you make these, but they're there in case you need them. 1 copy of our Nightmare Unicorn. Nightmare Unicorn's here to just bounce stuff pretty much. Phoenix, you can actually summon this under a Barrier Statue of Infernos because it's a fire monster, so that's really cool. Nightmare Cerberus, just to pop monsters. This one pops spells, this one pops traps. 2 copies of Doolittle Chimera. This is really good too if you want to summon, if you want to summon your barrier statues and you don't want to keep, if you have, for instance, let's just say, with Doolittle Chimera, the Volcanic Rockets go up to 2,400 beat sticks. So like they get pretty big. That's something that I didn't mention about Volcanic Rocket is it's a 1,900 beater. It's nothing to sneeze at. Like, it's pretty big. Then we play 1 copy of Linkuriboh. You can just normal summon out a shell and then link it away because it's a level 1 and summon out your Linkuribohs. Then I play for my XYZs, I play a Utopia engine, which is 1 copy of Utopia, 1 copy of Utopia Prime, and then 1 copy of Utopia the Lightning. Basically, this is just a really big beat stick that you have 5,000 attack points. Crooked Cook, number 59. This is for when you want to blow up your field to get rid of your Blaze Accelerator Reload. it's good to get it off the field sometimes so you can get that banish effect to pop your opponent's side of the field, which is really nice. And then once per turn, it just gains attack, 300 attack for each one that's destroyed, so it helps out when it needs to. Tornado Dragon to pop back row, Baguska to have a plan B if you need it. Like, for instance, if they get rid of your Infernos and you get to keep somehow like the Slasher and the or Slicer and the Rocket, you can overlay into this and stall them out to get your Scatter Shot and your Accelerator reloads. And then one copy of Exciton Knight because it's off the ban list and it's a good one of, and any extra deck that makes rank 4s. So anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think of this deck down in the comments down below. It's a really fun deck. It's very, very, very budget to build this deck. It's not expensive at all. Like, totally serious with you guys. It's probably maybe $40 for the main deck tops. So anyways, guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think of this deck down in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See you around, guys.